Mr. couldn't wait. He came over and sat with me before I got to begin. He says hello. So I made a couple of videos and wow, things have been going really good. Happy New Year. There's a lot to talk about, but I'll just I'll get to the meat and potatoes of this video. I wrote down what topics I'm going to cover, but I'm looking for the explanation. Ah, never mind, I was there. Okay, so got that. So today, first of all, I was discussing with someone about soul school and initiation today. I know, mister, I was. And when I went to go check the link to the initiation, where I found it initially, it's been changed. And it's actually pretty good. But it's also been nominated for deletion. So I'm going to read that. I know I said I was going to read this Naked Soul book, and we're probably going to read The Initiates of the Flame. But the reason why I'm telling you about these books is that if you can get your hands on this yourself, I would very much recommend it, okay? The reason being is that this is all going to make sense to everybody differently. It's going to hit you differently. Like, with how this worked for me, really this, I don't even know what to call it, this section of my consciousness ascension and like lotus blossoming type of thing. Oh yeah, we have to talk about that too. I mentioned that a few times and comparing it to the lotus, and then here it is in this book. It's been so cool lately. Okay. So, right, what I was saying was that it's not going to hit you and affect you like it did for me. But within probably all things, because I said in one of my previous videos, it was like the source took spiritual truth, crumpled it all up almost like a broken mirror in tiny pieces, and just chucked it. And it went out into everything, a little bit of everything, little shards of the spiritual truth of what we're experiencing, which is the greatest mystery school of all, which has to do with initiation, and it's God's great school of souls, which I read a couple of times. God's great school for man, or the Earth School. So, I'm just going to talk about these things briefly. I think it'll help. So we're going to talk about 333. We're going to talk about the Alpha and the Omega, red and the blue, initiation and soul school, and how to become an extraterrestrial. Yeah. It's weird because when I wrote this book, my book, I didn't I thought I knew what the gateway was, but I didn't really exactly fully understand until now the gateway of experience. One of my videos, I started recording I had gone through the epiphany a little bit, and then I was kind of getting over the crying with joy part. So I started, and I'm crying a little bit, but it's not a bad thing. Because it hit me, why my life was so difficult, and that is the gateway of experience, and it talks about that in the Initiates of the Flame. I also mention this book quite often, and this photo, which has a lot to do with the Initiates of the Flame, when it talks about the serpent along the tree, which bites at the roots of the tree. That's what it's talking about, this. A lot of this is symbolic, and I want to do this in a way where it will cause the least amount of harm, because I don't want to hurt anyone. I don't want conflict. I also have my little board thing here from when I was doing videos last time, but I'm pretty sure I was trying to figure out on the bottom what I have figured out now about the heart, spirit, mind connection, the down triangle and the up triangle, which creates, little Merkaba type of thing, and that has to do with the alpha and the omega, and the beginning and the end, and the masculine, the feminine, and the magic triangle. We talked about that a little bit, but like I said, I can only give you like an appetizer of it. I don't know it well enough to be able to teach it yet. But I do want to encourage people to do their own studying so that you can figure it out yourself. The 7 going up and 7 going down. The number 7 is very relevant. There's, 7 dimensions up and 7 down and things like that. And this all comes together in the Naked Soul, Astral Travel and Cosmic Relationships by Marlene Druhan. Transitional states and in between the 4th and 5th, the spirit realm, right? And do you know there's such thing as called etheric sight? And so basically how Elena Danaan said that these extraterrestrials are living on the etheric planes, they're spiritual planes of the planet, okay? So when she talks about that, that's what she's talking about. And that's why it's kind of like a spirit sight, the ability to see the unseen. Okay, how long have I rambled on for? Oh my god, 10 minutes, almost 7 minutes. Okay, let's begin. See, as I'm going through this, I also see it talks about in this book how you really have to read these things for yourself. If you want to find the truth, you've got to seek it out for yourself. But I'm going to help as best as I can, because this is the stage of where it's called dropping your seed. So other plants can bloom, yeah? And other people have gone before me. So basically that's what Elena Danaan was doing, and that's what Claudia Nocelli was doing, and even all these other people along the way that I may not be happy with, but I do understand the process. And I mean, they were all going through it as well. So we are in a giant school of souls here. And all these beings that people are seeing and experiencing that are calling extraterrestrials or aliens or whatever you want to identify as, whatever word you want to use, I don't care. But these beings that are out there, they have gone through the Earth School as well, or some version of it wherever they are from. Most likely it's probably been here, but I'm not an expert, I can't be sure, alright? So that's why I figure they say, we used to be just like you. Well, because they probably went through the Earth School as well. Okay. Uh-oh. Okay, it's coming off. And the way that you kind of escape, the reincarnation cycle, and to, learn, because it says at a certain point where you don't reincarnate again because you have no further need to develop spiritually, okay? I did not have this wet enough. Okay, I'll just press harder. There, that worked. Break it. Alright. So after a certain level, and it is possible, like it says in the beginning of the initiation, that the majority of humanity lies on the probationary path, okay? But anybody can get off this at any time. And I think that even by telling people, hey, I'm like, hey, I say this all the time. that we're in a giant school of souls, and I compare it to like your experiences. Think of it like a video game. Your experiences, you can rack up points that lead up to skill mastery. I don't know if you have played video games or not. I have. And I always kind of thought, like, you know, the different attributes that you have, and you get your skill points that kind of level up your different bars, and then you kind of level up 1, 2, 3, 4 to like level 57, blah, 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 okay? I think most people understand what I mean. So you get enough experience points and you level up. Now, once you reach a certain level, then you get like a different class, let's say, as we're in Soul School. And it kind of progresses from there until eventually I would assume that you become a creator of your own worlds. That's very far into a soul's advancement, but I would assume that's how our creator became one in the first place, right? By going through this process in some way and experiencing. Well, I already said that Source is experiencing life itself through all living things, all eyes and all lives around us, experiencing all forms of different walks of life, you know, this way, through all these different avatars. Now, there is something. Why don't we start off with the red and the blue first? Because there was always this thing. There was always this thing where it was like, oh, the red lights are bad, the blue lights are good, okay? On the UFO craft, okay, whatever you want to call them, spaceships, whatever. And that was confusing for me because the craft that I saw had red lights, right? There was always this great confliction. But it says in here about the red and the blue. Let's not lose this page. Oh, I should have marked my pages. Oh, I went right to it. Because it has to do with the alchemist, right? And which is the blending of the red and the blue, which makes purple. And the blue is of the spirit, and the red is of the body, which is the physical, right? Matter, non-matter, or whatever, micro, macro. It has to do with, okay, hold on, where did that go? Because, I'm gonna have to read the whole thing. Haha. Experiences are the chemicals of life. This is talking about the Philosopher's Stone, too, alright? This is in chapter 3. The Mystery of the Alchemist. Experiences are the chemicals of life, which the philosopher is experimenting with. Nature is the great book whose secrets he seeks to understand through her own wondrous symbolism. Now, this is why it has so much to do with symbolism. I don't know what the heck happens, but once you start seeing things in a certain way, you can't unsee it. Like, and people will say this, but there's different layers to that. Now I'm seeing the esoteric symbolism everywhere, including my own town. And which is cool because I was just thinking about the sun and moon symbolism, and there it is right there. And I've seen that when I was on the bus the other day, on like a random building, like the sun and the moon, just like in the concrete. This town I live in is insanely connected to like the Freemasons and all that stuff. Hmm. Where were we? About the symbolism, nature. His own spiritual flame is the lamp, and the flame is source, right? Is God. That's a spiritual flame. That's what it represents, okay? But that's also within you. It has to do with intuition and everything like that. This book is phenomenal. By which he, is the lamp by which he reads, like, the scrolls of nature and the symbolism, right? And without this, the printed pages mean nothing to him. That's why if you're not ready for it, this book is going to be like, what? His own organs is the furnace in which he prepares the philosopher's stone. See, the body's emotions, that's why we have like this physical transformation too, because the body has all these different chemical transformations, like literally, you go through hormonal changes, all kinds of stuff as you go through this process as well. But it's also on the inside, energetically too, right? Having to do with the chakra system and all of that. Which he prepares the philosopher's stone. That's your body. His senses and organs are the test tubes, and incentive is the flame from the burner. Salt, sulfur, and mercury are the chemicals of his craft. 3. According to the ancient philosophers, salt was of the earth, earthy. Sulfur was a fire, which was spirit. While mercury was nothing, only a messenger, like a carrier, like the winged Hermes of the Greek. His color purple, which is the blending of the red and blue, the blue of the spirit and the red of the body. The alchemist realized that he himself is the philosopher's stone, and that this stone is made diamond-like when the salt and the sulfur, or the spirit and the body, or the heart and the mind, I added that part, are united through mercury. Oh, the link of the mind. So those are the three things. Man is in the. That's why the book that I got about the sausage recipe, I didn't mean it for it to be that. It was supposed to be the pineal gland by Manly P. Hall, but it's about man, the greatest mysteries, like how our body is a reflection of pretty much everything that's out there, is also in here, which would be like the micro to the macro, the small to the large, the inside to the outside. Man is the incarnate principle of mind, as the animal is of emotion. He stands with one foot on the heavens and the other on the earth. His higher being is lifted to the celestial spheres, but the lower man ties him to matter. Now the philosopher, building his sacred stone, is doing so by harmonizing his spirit and his body together. The result is the philosopher's stone. The hard knocks of life, chip it away and facet it until it reflects lights from a million different angles. So how I was saying about how Source is experiencing all life through all creation, right? All of us, all the animals, everything you see in nature. And that's basically what that was saying. I'm so sorry. Okay. So let's read this one more time. The greatest of mystery schools. The world is a schoolroom of God, Source, Creator. Our being in school does not make us learn. You have to choose. But within that school is the opportunity for all learning. It has its grades and its classes, its sciences and its arts, and admission to it is the birthright of man. Its graduates are its teachers. So the ones that graduate Soul School, This is why the people in the blue suits and the different types of extraterrestrials are doing these jobs, because that's what happens when you move on to these greater colleges and universities. You have a different life, a different way of existence, and like a new job. I'm sure that they're all still learning in some way as well, because we never stop learning. But that's what they're doing. And well, let's finish this. Its pupils are all created things. Its examples are nature, and its rules are God's laws. Oh my God. Those who would go into the greater colleges and universities must first, day by day and year by year, work through the common school of life and present to their new teachers the diplomas they have won. That's why this is like, no one can get these certificates and diplomas for you. That's why I always encourage your study, because, like I was saying when I first began to talk, oh, my throat. Is that I had to realize why my life was so difficult. It is the gateway of experience. And I was saying how all of these things that I went through, you are not going to experiencing the same things the same way, yeah? But I almost feel like they expect you to make chocolate chip cookies without giving you the proper recipe. Like, how the fuck are you supposed to make cookies if you don't have the recipe? You know? That's what this feels like to me. So, I don't know. I feel like this is something I need to do carefully, but I still need to do this. I couldn't wait to tell everybody what I found. And it even like helped me make sense of my book. Like, this was really, I wrote this to help me. I never made it to make any money. I wanted to be able to allow people an opportunity to have a glimpse of how I experienced this, even just in a little bit. Oh, right, I didn't finish. Those who would go into the greater colleges and universities must first, day by day and year by year, work through the common school of life and present to their new teachers the diplomas they have won, upon which is written the name that none may read save those who have received it. The hours may seem long and the teachers cruel, and that's true. Like, I recorded a video where it hit me, like I was so mad at them, the people in the blue suits, for so long, that I didn't really understand their purpose, and that's why we could never make this connection. I had a very defensive subconscious, so it was really hard for them to reach me, especially when I was in the lower realms, but we'll get there. But each of us must walk the path, and the only ones ready to go onward are those who have passed through the gateway of experience. So you can't cheat. This is gonna come through for you when it does. Like, it didn't matter what I did. I didn't do anything special. I just kind of just went along with things, and I followed my intuition, but I followed my passion, which was learning and trying to figure out what was going on, not only to help myself and, because I really suffered through it for many years. I'm very impressed and glad with how it turned out. And there's something that I wanted to tell you. I know a lot of people have a bad impression of Asura, and that's fine. You can have your opinions. There's something that he said to me many years ago, and it was actually in a different language. I'm not going to tell you what it was, because I know exactly what you're going to say it sounds like, and whatever, I'll tell you. He said, Natra vasta onisti ferta, which I translated to, because I was pretty angry about the state of the world and how I felt so isolated and, pushed away, cast out, and I didn't know, like, how to deal with these things. We will talk about, that, because that was also a great test. But basically, he was saying that nature's vastness is justice. You know, the vastness of nature is justice. That really, nature finds a way, yeah. And so, I think that we all have different guides at different stages. Um, it was extraordinarily hard, but I'm glad for it. My experience, because I got to ascend in consciousness very quickly. It was very hard. And I'm sure it's not even close to being done yet. I've been tested quite a lot lately, but it's been going smoothly, which I've been happy with. All right, so this is pretty cool. So after everything I was talking about the 333, right? This is so neat. I love this book. I didn't finish it yet, to be honest with you, but okay, where are you? Let's pass this. Here we go. Okay, so when I was learning about the magic triangle with Ken, because actually it was Asura that gave me the vision of a triangle years and years ago, because I wanted to know where the magic was. I wanted to be able to get the abilities that I had before, so this is a different version of me that has learned since then, because I wanted to save the world with them. Which is, you know, sweet. But anyway, and gave me the vision of a triangle. And I was like, well, what the fuck do you want me to do with that? You want me to build one, sit under it, and meditate, or what? Like, I don't know. But that's what they can give you little hints, but that's the thing. There's this thing about non-interference, right? So I kind of forgot about that. And I drew the vision on a little piece of paper because I intended to make it into a drawing, but I never did. Anyway, so remember, I'm not an expert at this, but and you gotta read this book from start to finish for it to make sense, but this is fucking cool. Okay. Okay, well, goodness gracious. Oh, whatever. So here we go. I was fucking up right here, as you can tell. So this right here is actually the pyramid opened up, right? These are its four sides, huh? But when you put them together, like if they all like came up like this, right, it would be a pyramid, okay? This is in the chapter about the pyramid, actually. The pyramid, it has to do with earth, air, fire, and water. This triangle here represents physical matter, or how I seen it. Whoops! Fuck, his leg's way over there. Okay. I fixed it, but... Which is our physical body, okay? Fucking hell. Okay. This is cool. Okay, so we have earth, and we have water, fire, and air. I don't know if it really matters where they are, but fire and air. Hmm? Okay? But then, oh my goodness. Okay, this square represents man. And the ancient pyramid is man offering his higher being upon the altar of the great fire spirit. So there's also the altar. There are 12 lines used in drawing the four triangles, which stand for the 12-fold constitution of man when it is complete. The threefold body, 1, 2, and 3, right there. 1, 2, 3. The threefold body, the threefold mind, the threefold soul, and the threefold spirit. It also gives us the 12 signs of the zodiac divided into the respective groups. So we have told you I'm doing my best. Okay, what did I say? I said, Mister, can you get off of him? Stop that. Mister, Mister. He's on his back, biting the back of his neck, trying to dominate him. Hey, hey, hey. Thank you. So, all right. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we have body, spirit, soul, mind. Okay? Do you remember how I was saying in one of my previous videos, we have a mental body, an emotional body, and I recognize these things while going through these astral shit. No, not astral shits. Hang on. Hang on. Astral dreams. Okay, so my emotional body, you have your spirit astral body, and then you have your physical body. Fuck. What a great teacher I'd be. Physical. Whoops, not Dottie. Body. You know what? The other day, I don't know if I mentioned this already, but it was on there's a little sailing ship, because it's by Merchant Books, my Initiates of the Flame, and instead of saying sailing ship, I went, oh, a failing fifth. Okay. So you've got your mental, emotional, spirit, and physical bodies, okay? And I was noticing these things, like my body, or my spirit body, and my subconscious to conscious mind, because I would become conscious while experiencing, like, subconscious workings, like weird-ass dreams and different things like that. But they all come together. And I remember there's something about this, like, with having to do with the Holy Grail. Whoops! Oh, that's a fucking melted one. Okay, well, whatever. There, you like my Holy Grail? It melted there at the bottom a little bit, but it's fine. It talks about that in here. But there's also the pyramid here. And it says the Father, the Son, Christ, the solar plexus, the baseline, and the Holy Spirit. So that's also the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. The solar plexus is where your power comes from. Oh my god, my throat. And when I was I went to a Buddhist temple when I was 17, 18 years old, and I was practicing there, meditation, different things. They referred to the stomach and the solar plexus as the sea of chi. And I also thought of it like when you put gasoline into a car, this is how your engine, how you give power to your vehicle. But this also where your spiritual power, when I experienced telepathy for the first time in the spirit body, when I first met the Asuras, when I was consciously aware of this happening, um, I refer to it as feeling like a energetic text message, like, that hit me in the gut first, in the stomach. Now, this isn't a bad thing. It's just where I felt the energy hit me first, and then it rises up to be translated, yes, through the different heart chakras, your emotional and your speech, and then you will hear here. So it rises like this. I explained that in the video where I recorded the experience of seeing the being of unknown origin in my room. You can learn about this in just a second. This was the book that was a misprint. It's The Pineal Gland, The Eye of God. But this is just a small piece. I didn't realize this. I have to get another book. And it's called Man, the Grand Symbol of the Mysteries, okay? That would be what you're looking for, because that will help a lot. Although this, what I'm reading from is The Initiates of the Flame. So, oh, goodness gracious, we didn't even get, okay. I don't know if I did a good job, but I feel like I'm just basically going over it, but it's really cool. So if you haven't, like, gotten a taste of, curiosity to learn it for yourself, I barely do, but somehow this is all happening to me, regardless of whether I wanted to or not. So I had no choice. I never thought this would be my life, but oh dear. Oh, well, I'm pretty sure that you've seen the whole thing. Okay. And we talked about the red and the blue, about the red being the body and the blue being the spirit, and the blending of them makes purple, which is fantastic because I always wondered why I would draw myself with a purple suit, because everybody's wearing like blue or whatever, and eventually mine is purple. There's this picture here from my book. I'm with two little grays, and we've got cute little butts, all of us. Anyway, let's see. So, yeah, in the Gods of Eden, it says about how, we're all working together. I keep forgetting to talk about this first. So basically what's going on, a lot of people will see the giant checkerboard symbolism. Okay? Everybody knows what one looks like. I don't really need to draw it, but let's do it anyway. It's not going to be perfect, but you'll get the point, okay? Shit. I don't know if I'm going to be good at this, you guys. I don't play checkers or chess, whatever. Okay? But just, so basically, there's also, Linda Howe said this once, and I agree, that it's like a 8-layer chess game. But a lot of, oh shit. Okay, whatever. You guys know what a checkerboard looks like? Okay, I'm fucking it up real good. So, basically what's happening is that each of, the sides, which they're basically, it's a co-operation, right? So they're co-operating in this operation. They're all teaching us at different levels. They're all different types of teachers, regardless, because some of it's quite brutal, okay? But there's something very important that I'm not sure if people realize. is that essentially we are all pieces on this giant checkerboard, and they're being moved in this giant game. I'm sure that Source has to find ways to entertain itself. And really, in the grand design of things, it's quite brilliant. You know, I can only barely have a glimpse of what it is like, and I'm glad that ain't me. Because once I heard that someone said God stands for General Operating Director, and I thought that was pretty clever. I agree. That's a tough gig. But, okay, so about the checkerboard and how we're all player pieces, and I think that it's not so much or us versus them, or this versus that. We have to kind of let that go. I'd mentioned that before when I dropped that and kind of defeated the enemies within and then outside. Well, when I did that within, they kind of just faded away and disappeared, you know. That's why it never made sense to me about this ridiculous reptilian racism going on, you know, how all reptilians are bad and blah, 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 and this and that. I mean, if we're really going to get into it, which we'll only briefly, how can you think that when that's just like saying all humans are the same? No, we're not. No, we're not. And I know that there's basic functions in brain behavior, but I think that's ridiculous. That this is more of an us versus them. Destroy this, annihilate that, and things will be better. It doesn't work that way, unfortunately. And that was one of the first things I noticed. Hopefully I don't screw this up. Oh, good. That was one of the first things I noticed that's been changed about initiation. Initiation is a concept in theosophy in which human beings are said to pass through different stages or gateways of spiritual development. I call it consciousness ascension. Uh, okay. I can't remember what it said before, but according to theosophy, initiation is an esoteric process to create forced evolution. The process of becoming a unique individual capable of sustaining states of heightened awareness is painstakingly slow because most people mechanically pursue their own likes and dislikes, and in the process, consciously or unconsciously impose their will on others. In the Greek New Testament, this is referred to as metanoia, or sin. For example, mistaken thoughts, feelings, or behavior. Asserting one's power over others results in trauma of all kinds and thus bad karma, which slows down one's spiritual development. All harmful acts demand redress. So when you mess up, you have to readdress them. Almost like failing a test and you have to retake the test in school, yeah? Because karmic events further one's understanding about oneself and the world. That's why it's what's that know thyself. I forget the rest. What was that? Oh, one's understanding about oneself and the world, as individuals are obliged to experience at some point or other the pain they have inflicted upon others, and that's true. They ultimately offer a corrective for negative acts and therefore fostering awakening. As such, the law of cause and effect must ultimately be deemed a beneficial one, if not divine law. Initiation, according to Bailey, entails the realization of an increasing unity with all that lives. At one meant on all levels, emotional, intuitional, spiritual, and divine, consists in conscious, continuous functioning. In all cases, it is preceded by a burning through the medium of inner fire, what we were talking about, the Philosopher's Stone, which is taking, where did you go? Oh, jeez, it's right here. Here you are. is taking your transmutation, taking one emotion and turning it into another. Hold on. I'll pause. No, wait. I don't. Secret. Oh, it was about the mystery of the alchemist. Yes. Well, I already read it, but about the symbolism and the according to the ancient philosophers, salt was of the earth, sulfur was fire, which was spirit. So the body and spirit, while mercury was nothing, only a messenger, which is about the mind, right? So the body, spirit, and mind, the three things. Oh, that was earlier in The Alchemist. Oh. Uh, with base metals into gold. So, like, basically, you're taking all of these emotions and turning them into something that's prosperous. And hold on, where does it say it? This is why they're getting mad at me. You're a shit teacher. Anyway, it has to do with the emotions. Oh my god. Friggin' tired now. I very highly recommend reading this book. Okay. What else did I say? Oh my jeez. Oh, right. This is where it changed about the initiation. Death, the grand illusion. According to the ancient wisdom teachings, death is merely, that's why I was talking about transitional states, is merely a transition from one state of consciousness to another. While scientific materialists may deny the legitimacy of this view, physicists have long recognized that energy cannot be destroyed, even if it changes form. It doesn't be destroyed, it transfers. Because there is a deep, instinctual love of life shared by all living beings. However, death has generally long been abhorred and denied, experienced as terrifying and painful, evoked self-pity as it had been equated with losses of all kinds, roles, goals, relationships, possessions, and most importantly perhaps experience itself. In exceptional cases it has promoted a certain kind of courage, or conversely, resignation. Yet even sudden violent death is experienced as no more than an electric shock. Despite the fact that death is inevitable and offers diverse kinds of experience, all of these reactions can be understood as an identification with the form aspect of life itself, rather than the essence of substance underlying life, which theosophists consider to be eternal. See, this is how you become immortal and live forever and become an extraterrestrial. Where was I? I was saying, you die first. But death isn't bad. It's not a bad thing. You want to be able to go through this so that you are prepared for what's out there. You may already be doing things that you're just not aware of within your spirit body in your dream time, which was when our spirits leave our body to go to other places and do other things. Lots of people are doing this. Your dreams sometimes just aren't dreams. That's not all they are. Not all the time. And it also has to do with your subconscious learnings, which starts a lot of the time first, because you have to know yourself, know thyself, yeah? Let's see here. Resignation, native son of violent death. Death is inevitable, all kinds of experience and reactions to be understood. Rather than the absence of theosophists consider to be eternal, right? In general, humanity has dreaded the unknown. But see, this is what it is. It's not unknown to me now. And I'd really like to tell other people. I think that the most important thing, though, is it's going to be whatever you want it to be. Wherever you're at, that's what it's going to be for you. So just because it's this for me, it doesn't mean it's the same for you. But there might be people out there that, this may benefit. And I think that I am the person now who I was looking for this whole time. So I could never find it. And then I'm like, oh, well, I guess I was what was missing. So no, I'm not the best of it, best at it, but I'm trying my best. Right, the dreaded, the unknown. It is partly because it has proven one sense of personal limitation, if not powerlessness, rather than the grand mystery of existence itself. Rather than experiencing death as an escape, much of humanity dreads it as a punishment. So Alice Bailey offers this corrective from the master Dwal Kul, for whom she served as Amma Anunis. Via telepathy. It's probably just a channel. There is no angry God, no hell, no vicarious atonement. There is only a great principle of love animating the entire universe. There is the presence of Christ, indicating to humanity the fact of the soul, and that we are saved by the livingness of that soul. And the only hell is the earth itself, where we learn to work out our own salvation, actuated by the principle of love and light, and incited thereto by the example of the Christ, which is the master in this book. Christ is their king, Jesus Christ. But and incited thereto by the example of the Christ and the inner urge of our own souls. Moreover, whether one believes or not, in the accounts of million individuals who have testified about near-death experiences, physical science is in the process of develop the capacity of photographing the etheric realm, and will thereby prove the existence of something that survives the death of the human body, even if it should not be called the soul. Moreover, increasingly, as more and more people adopt a more open, curious attitude towards their own death, most importantly, as it is taking place, humanity will relinquish its age-old fears and come to understand death as a cycle event to be planned for, one to experience, if all possible, as a conscious witness. So, I was trying to break it to everybody quite a few times. It's not a bad thing. It may not be the only way. But if you read through this, it says there are 7 choices before the perfect human. Having reached the threshold of the 5th initiation, a soul does not necessarily have to enter Earth's spiritual hierarchy proper as one of the masters of ancient wisdom. One can proceed along one of the 7 paths. In theosophical literature, the 7 choices before the perfect human are that the initiate remains with humanity as an official of the hierarchy form. This signifies that the 5th degree initiate decides to become a master of wisdom, remaining to serve the plan on Earth. Number 2, remains with humanity as a nirmanakaya or bodhisattva. So sorry. Number 3, joins the devas or angelic hosts. Number 4, joins the staff corps of the solar logos. Such beings join the masters living in etheric cities inside the sun. They are said to supervise the unseen on the diverse planets of our solar system. Only those living on Earth are visible, while the others, everybody else, abides, my throat, on the etheric planes of their planets. All the planets are said to be inhabited, but humanity has yet to acquire etheric sight. Number 5, prepares the work of the next chain. Those who are most evolved help develop the plans for the future development of planetary civilizations throughout the solar system. So like the custodians, the Anunnaki, all of these people, you really got to let go of the enemies outside and within, and you'll see that they are all teachers. And this is going to piss people off, but that's part of your journey. You'll get over it. And so number 5, prepare the work for the next chain. Yeah. And then 6 and 7, you can enter nirvana. And become a whatever that word is, but I think it has to it's like Buddha. You know, you just chill up there with all the other gods, I guess. I don't know. In nirvana. Or some people will call it Valhalla or heaven or whatever. Okay? The Alpha and the Omega is the beginning and the end. Where's my book? Let's see, I think I talked about the red and the blue, the 333. We did initiation, soul school. Basically, I covered how to become an ET. Because you can only do that once you reach a certain level, right? And then you move on and you get your new teachers and all that. So probably like Thorhan and them is where Elena Denon will go when she dies. Is with them. Most likely her soul guides, her soul team or whatever, her spirit guides or whatever. That's them. Okay? What was I talking about? Oh, the Alpha and the Omega. Oh. Okay. I think it's blue is down. Is it? We'll use red and blue. I'm pretty sure they do it that way, huh? Because that's the male way. Pretty sure that's the male. Or masculine. And then we have this. Okay. I think it goes that way. Whatever. Okay, and then we have the alpha. And it goes, oops, I need the pink one. And then it goes this way, I believe. Right. Okay. Put this down. This back. Okay. So we have this. So this also has to do with the red and the blue, right? Which makes purple. I don't know if you noticed when I mix the colors here, they turn purple. But, so the beginning and the end, okay? And we have for the alpha, and this is the masculine, right? It would be the beginning because we have, a happy sperm. Okay, here, look. Look, we've got the beginning, which is the sperm. And we've got the little egg, right? A happy egg. Okay? But there's also another thing because it starts within the men, which is the beginning, right? And we are the end result. It comes out of our hoo-hoo gateway, yes, and life. The Vesica Pisces, which is bringing, the spirit and the physical together out the friggin' gateway, yeah? And we've got, look, it's a Pikachu, a baby, okay? So that is the beginning and the end, the alpha and the omega. And then when you put them together, it makes this. Okay. Is that all? And creation, all that. I'm tired. Did we do it all? I think so. But so yeah, I'm gonna put my videos back up. I've got some really cool stuff going on. That's a lot for me to talk about. I don't know. You want to see my happy sperm again? And if you don't know what the Vesica Pisces is, it kind of looks like two cells dividing with that in the middle, eh? Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to flip you off. Like this. And, I had a video with that picture on, but that was the video that got taken down, reported and taken down. But that's where I also talked about, how it's etheric. And, you pass on in your body. And I think that's what a lot of people don't want. Like, they don't want to be here, And like I talked about that before, where there is kind of this preying on the desperation to escape. But like I said in the beginning, and it talks about that in the Initiates of the Flame, where there are pieces of spiritual truth in all things. I think it has something to do with like the vagina being the gateway in the Vesica Pisces as well. Sexuality is not a bad thing. Lovemaking is a beautiful thing, and it's supposed to be. It's a very powerful thing, and the creational energies can be used for great stuff, but it's just that the people that are in control of things right now, especially in this realm itself, have really made it, if not, I mean, like I said, they want you to make chocolate chip cookies without giving you the recipe for it. So, uh, but they don't want that. They want people to keep reincarnating and being here for as long as possible because they don't want people joining the team of superheroes out there that I've always known was out there my entire life. So wow, I've talked for an entire hour. My throat is killing me. I would highly suggest to go read Initiation before it's gone. I've taken pictures of the whole thing anyway, so yeah. I hope you enjoyed this. I really hope this was good. I'm doing another photo shoot this month. And it's going to be really, really good. It's my graduation photo shoot. So, I'll see you then. I love you. Take care. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it wasn't too terrible. Yeah. Happy sperm. Okay, bye. I love you. Take care. I hope you like my Pikachu. I went to the mall today and I got this Pikachu. It's a Pikachu. Say bye. I love it. Goodbye.